Okay, good morning, volleyball and cross country girls.
Wait, is it recording?
Yes.
Oh.
So is this it? Yeah, you can stare at yourselves. It's kind of weird.
I know, I really don't like it. I'm just
Ordinarily, we do this every day. We have people from other schools. But, it's not weird. It's not that weird. What's that?
Yeah, that's how big the class is going to be originally. I like small classes.
Well, originally,
but not all the time.
if I only have this many, can you even see Jack back there? No, originally I thought, because 2 years ago the class was this small. But this is nice because now the girls, if they choose, they can tune in and listen to our discussion of chapter 13 and 14. 13 especially, which we didn't get to yesterday. And Tyler had mentioned this, well, I'd like to do it. And I want to, start with on page 145. There's this line that says, Scarlet Letter book. What's that? What's that?
145.
145. We'll go back to the start of the chapter. But 145, there's this single line set off as a paragraph of its own. The Scarlet Letter had not been in office.
Yes.
Jack, what does that mean? You got to speak up so the mic will pick up. Yeah, Jack has to yell. The Scarlet Letter had not done its office. What does that mean? What's its purpose? Exactly. What's its purpose? I don't know if you guys heard that, but it's exactly right. To resculpt, and I like that. Resculpt Hester into, the model Puritan, bring her back in the fold. Remember, the punishment is not to make the, to make the victim suffer. I'm not going to, whip Emma just because I want to see her bleed. Rather, I'm going to whip her to reform her, to bring her back in the fold. Okay? And this is the key. And we talked about how, Emerson said, again, to go into nature, or to go into solitude, rather, I've never retired from my change society, I would go out by myself. And this, ironically, here again, with pirates, we see through hypocrisy, irony, same dynamic, where Hester, by being pushed out of the fold as a punishment, ironically, is given a kind of distance that neither Chillingworth or certainly Dimmesdale has on Puritan society to really start questioning whether it's right or not. And so what Hawthorne's kind of doing here is enacting this transcendentalist belief that, you have to not take things second. Did Tyler give up his... Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay. So we go back to the start of the chapter where it says, so it starts off, chapter 13, with Hester shocked at the condition to which she found the clergy.
That was later on, and she and
It was earlier.
yeah, that was before when they were on the kind of
On the scaffold, and he's freaked out, he's streaky, but he's not really streaky,
yeah,
he's saying he's not really streaky.
When Pearl asks him to, when you stand up here with me during
The point is, and somebody asked, why does he go with children? But, he, he's obviously...
I found Gus Kenworthy text from a really long time ago. And I just learned the whole plot.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
So what?
It says that on the paper.
So let me have that
What?
burn it.
What the heck? That's like valuable. You should keep that. You can
No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
I don't think anyone's going to buy it.
No, straight up someone will. No, someone will. Somebody will.
You should So you
Oh, no! So what? No. No.
don't throw that away. That's valuable. That can be really valuable when he wins the next Olympics.
Say
I'm
that's
not
not
sure.
it.
You just pin it.
Yeah, it says August.
Augustus schedule.
It could be very visible. That's just-
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry, Shalane.
His stroller. No, that's really just
The thing is, Gus is
That's
wrong.
his name. He's wrong.
Yeah, I can answer that question. That's what. So anyway, with her knowledge of training and circumstances hidden from all others, she could really infer that besides the human action of his own conscience, a terrible machine that brought to bed was still operating. So she knows that Chillingworth, her husband, knows Dimmesdale is her lover, and that Chillingworth in disguise, not as Roger Trinity, but as Roger Chillingworth, is slowly tortured.
How is he tortured?
It's kind of subtle, and you know, is it really torture? It's not like he's on the rack. He is kind of on the mental rack, because what Chillingworth does, and the conceit of the novel is that Chillingworth is sitting there. You know, if I knew that you had done something terrible, you didn't know that, and that you had best this terrible thing. I would say things like, remember the scene when Dimmesdale says, "Oh, where those dark and flabby." It comes, I found it growing here in the graveyard, like an unmarked grave, growing out of the heart of somebody who died with their secret. What do you think? What do you think of that? Is somebody dying with a secret that they, and so, he's trying to make himself. Dimmesdale always feels funny to himself. He hates being a hypocrite, but he's too, he's too weak. To stand up there, to stand up in the pulpit and say, "I, who you reverence, am an utter pollution and a lie." He knows Wesley. He knows that people will hear it wrong, and on the one hand, he wants to maintain his secret. On the other hand, the fact is not, because as the book he's somebody who loves the truth. Actually, person who's falling. And imagine that you wrecked your parents. Somehow, that's it. All my studying, cars, stolen, and so for years, but Bree knows it was you. And so she's constantly saying, "Oh," so she's constantly bringing it up, and so she's kind of working it. She's working at your guilt, as you know. What's that? Yes, because you want to hate Isabel, like torture her for something. Okay. So anyway, but she decided, moreover, and this is where Esther decides she has to tell Dimmesdale, which is great. She decided, moreover, this is middle page 139. She decided, moreover, that he had a right to her utmost. And this is the key. Little accustomed to her long seclusion from society. So again, she's in this transcendentalist notion. She's outside of society. She's free from it. But what's caused this, Emma? Why? What's caused her isolation or seclusion from society?
That she was pushed out.
The very punishment.
Can't get back in.
Well, the very punishment that was ironically supposed to bring her back in. Although, as we find out, here again, Esther is a sort of hypocrite alongside Dimmesdale, because outwardly she seems to be conformed. She seems, just as the meteor was transformed from adultery, the old angel, the townspeople blossom, turbulence, and celestial treatment that cherished. So too as the A on Esther's chest. Transform adulterous. So outwardly, society's thinking, yeah, this is working. Our punishment, look at Esther now. She just sits quiet, she helps the poor, she sits by all the dead, the deathbeds, by the sick people, she does all this good stuff. This is great, the punishment's working. But the effect of the punishment was she's a little accustomed to her long seclusion. to measure the ideas of right and wrong by any standard external to itself. Definitely.
Is what's right and wrong is per definition of what you provide to society.
Right.
Pushed out.
But now what is her metric? Now
It's herself.
it's herself. It's, it's nothing more sacred than the integrity of her mind. She's not taking it second. She's choosing to use society for herself. And so, okay, a pearl 7-year-old. We get, thing on top page, on top page 140, we get this notion is a credit of human nature, except where selfishness brought into play the laws. Is it true?
I don't
You don't think it's true?
I think people are really.
You think human nature should be mean? I think it's like Thomas, or like.
Human nature is like
But
protect
that ought to
yourself.
be nice.
No, I disagree. I think society trumps.
You think? I don't know. Or do you think love trumps hate? Mark that, because this is kind of an aside. It's actually going to come back in the book. Whether love and hate are essentially the same thing. But, so we go through on page 140, 142, there's a ton of stuff here, but basically it's just describing how Boston, the letter, it's on top of page 141, about 6 lines down, she becomes a self-ordained sister of mercy, or may I rather say the world's heavy. So the letter was a symbol of her calling. Such helpfulness was found in so much power to do and power to sympathize, you to interpret the Scarlet Letter. That's why Scarlet A by its original signification is that able so strong as sunshine and something. Then when she goes on, I start to look at on page 142, the Scarlet Letter had the effect of the cross on the mountain. Part of where sacred native walks arrow. She followed him easily, kept her safe. Reported that he drawn arrow. This kind of special aura. All the townspeople are seeing this as Esther being reformed. Esther going from this slutty, naughty baggage, adulteress to the model Puritan. So, oh yeah, our punishment is work. But what's that?
It's a weird word.
It's
an insult.
Yeah, the whole reason. But Esther, okay, just as what's happening on Soleil to Chillingworth's appearance?
Oh, he's getting like.
He's getting up there and up there.
Yeah.
What's happening to his transformation? Denzel's getting weaker. What's happening to Hester?
How's getting stronger?
She's stronger appearance.
Well, yeah. She's like questioning.
Right, on page 142, it says, even this is toward the bottom of the page, 12 lines up, even the attractiveness of a person, ages, Jesus. Even the attractiveness of a person undergoing similar change. It might be partly owing to the austerity of dress, partly the lack of administration, sad to derivation, pure hair, cut off, completely hidden by a cap, but not a shining long. So, mark that passage because again, the reason we're annotating this, Heather was talking, the important part about annotation is to note these things because you might, for your, for your analysis of this, you might want to just, one possible, not the whole list of possible. Let's say topics that you can show in pieces, but one might be just trace a couple of the 70 key symbols, throughout the novel and see how they support and reinforce. But certainly, it's something that her hair's tucked up. She's wearing these, kind of dowdy clothes, and so it's like her womanhood. Remember, she's punished. Why? Why is she punished and Dimsdale isn't?
Because they don't know.
And why do they know who she is? Because she's a woman. So the woman, the very fact of her womanhood, led to her punishment. Which is totally. But then, the punishment, that kind of smothering. Top of page 143. Some attribute had departed from her, the permanence of which had been essential to keep her a woman. Such as frequent the fate, such as the stern development of the feminine character and person, when a woman has encountered and lived through and experienced a peculiar severity. If she be all tenderness, she will die. If she survive, the tenderness will either crush out of her, or the outward saying, crushed so deeply into her heart. The latter is perhaps the truest theory. She who has once been a woman might at any moment only imagine that trans. Shouting at that.
Why is she all like dead and fire?
Is she dead inside or is she dead outside? Okay, she's dead as a woman. Why? What do you think is about would be the magic touch to affect the transfer? What could bring her back? What's that? What if Dimsdale came and said, "Oh, Elster, looking without." We shall see.
So, go away. Also, if they did end up, like if she did end up, like, the Dimsdale was guilty. Is he guilty that he abandoned?
It's a really good question. Well, he's got to feel some guilt because remember, Dimsdale's still stuck. He's rooted in society, so he thinks he imbibes society.
So would he still be out?
I don't know. If she wasn't pregnant, she wouldn't be something. She wouldn't maybe discover.
But he still would sin.
He was going to sin, but well, we'll see. We're going to see because they're going to actually discuss a couple of chapters. I think we're reading. They're actually discussing. Pretty soon. A little patience, but anyway, we shall see whether Hester prayed ever afterward was so touched and so transfigured. So again, it's foreshadowing what's happening. Much of the marble coldness of Hester's impression was to be attributed to circumstance. That her life had turned in great measure from passion, feeling, love with ardent interest, to thought, standing alone in the world, alone as to any dependence on society. The world we got it alone, it's a repetition of alone. Again, it's solitude. And hopeless of retrieving her position, even as she now scorned and considered desirable, she cast away that fragments of broken chain. And notice she says, okay, screw it. I don't care about society. I'm really, I'm living on my own. This is my lot. I'm going to embrace it. And then this key line, the world's law is no law. So while outwardly she's conforming, inwardly she's saying, screw it, I'm going to pass away from change. Where are we seeing the notion of law? The mention of law. The world's law is no law to her mind. Got a kind of a freedom. Case that before John, remember? When Chillingworth's looking out the window at Hester and Pearl dancing on the plane.
No law.
Does this child have any operating principle?
It's the
freedom of a broken law. So the fact that here we got a broken chain, it's almost like Hester is throwing away this chain, throwing away this law. It was an age in which human intellect newly emancipated had taken more active and wider range than before. Many of the sword had overthrown nobles and kings. This is a reference to what's going on in 1640. In England, do you have any idea? The Puritan Revolution.
Yeah.
Oliver Cromwell's going around and blowing up Irish castles. There's the rough Parliament. King Charles has been overthrown, eventually headed. And this is the Puritan Revolution back home. And in fact, historically, it was very difficult for people like John. So the Puritan dilemma was, do we stay in England, fight, overthrow the English, overthrow the government, try to establish a Puritan society, or do we go to start with China? So this is a reference to what's going on In Europe, men bold and these overthrown and rearranged our attributes in the sphere of theory, which is the most real of those. The whole system of ancient prejudice was linked to much of ancient principle. Esther Prynne imbibed the spirit. She assumed a freedom of speculation, been common enough on the other side of the planet, back in Europe, for which our forefathers, the Puritans, had they known of it, it held to be a deadlier crime and stigma. In other words, Hester's become what? She's questioning. And the Puritans of the day would have considered this, along with Anne Hutchinson, they would have considered it a worse sin than adultery. Had they known, but they don't know. What?
It's freaking.
It's free thinking. It's questioning society. It's thinking, remember that, hold the finger here on 143. Remember, we go back to the start of the book, where is it? Where's the rose-covered bush? Yeah, it sprung up under the foot of the sainted Anne Hutchinson. She entered the prison door. I mean, Anne Hutchinson was banned from Boston with the same kind of free thinking that Hester is. What's that? In her lonesome college by the seashore, thoughts visited her such as dared enter no other dwelling. Shadowy guests, as perilous as demons, but it seems. Remember, she might be thinking of transcendental things. Should be a man, must be non-conformist. Society everywhere is a conspiracy against the man of the. Meanwhile, the door of the temple stands open day and night is dark on one stern condition. This, it's an intuition. Give me a second. Remember how in 1850, 30, Emerson saying those words at the Baseball classes. Imagine 200 years earlier, a hard Puritan Boston, most theocratic, people, law, religion, were one. That the question religion, the question, even the greatest. But nobody knows. Because Hester goes around the Muir, the Pearl. She does her duty. So outwardly she seems to be conforming, but inwardly she's rebelling. And this is the same dynamic as the hypocrisy that Dimsdale, but where Dimsdale's hypocrisy is terrible. Outwardly he's venerated by the whole town. Inwardly, like I said, who's a man in his government? As remarkable, the persons who speculate the most boldly often conform with the most perfect quiet for no. Is this true? We're deep thinkers. The thoughts and vices them without investing. So it seemed to be with Hester yet. Had little Pearl never come to her, come to the spiritual world, it might have been far away. Then she, Hester, might have come down to us in history. And Anne Hutchinson, as the founders of religious sect, she might, in one of her phases of their prophetess, she might would have sung Gadsby. In other words, she could have been outspoken like Anne Hutchinson. Remember what was Dimsdale's argument for not taking Pearl away from Hester?
She's going to save her.
She's going to save her. We see that with Mrs. Hutchins for Hibbins, Mrs. Hibbins, the witch. Now we see it again. In a sense, had Pearl not come, Hester might have been that firebrand Anne Hutchinson person. So it's a saving. Providence in the first this little girl assigned to Hester's charge the German blossom. Who's the German blossom? Pearl, her daughter. But maybe this is maybe Pearl. German is not German is not like something like German.
Oh.
German is like core. German.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. German. Oh, sorry. Where? We're on 144, middle page. Just before.
Oh, they said
It's-
German. I was like,
yeah.
Sorry. The German blossomed, but it wouldn't cherish and develop in the first place. But maybe her charge is to, it is first of proto-feminism, which I think is so amazing. Somebody commented on that. If child's own nature is something long enough to achieve. Often, Esther to ask bitterness. Indeed, same dark question. What's the question?
whether they should have
It's worth being alive if you're stuck being a woman. It's been about a white guy. Was existence worth accepting? That concerned her own individual existence. She has to log the side of the negative and dismiss the point of settle. No, she says it sucked. I mean, she basically go out and kill herself with a hurdle because a woman's lot in life is so terrible. A tendency to speculation will make people quiet. It makes her sad. She discerns, she figures out that they such a hopeless task before her. As a first step, in order to create a world in which a woman wouldn't say it was better to be dead. As a first step, the whole system of society is torn down, built up, and then the very nature of the opposite sex was wrong. Unlike essentially before seems there.
the rebuild.
We have to tear down society and rebuild it. And the first thing we have to do, the first thing we have to change in rebuilding is what?
How women are.
Change men. Because, well, in a sense, I mean, again, we can see the gender inequity here. The fact that Esther gets punished simply because she's.
I would think.
Well, they would kill most.
I don't know, they would have killed them or banished them. Again, there's mitigating circumstances, and Hawthorne's made this. This is why we don't, we as readers are championing Esther. Because Esther, she was forced into a marriage she didn't want, to a creeper old guy that she didn't love. She thought that guy was dead, and she met this much more suitable mate. So we don't feel it wrong. This society, pure in Boston, 1640, says it was. But this notion that Esther could be saying, or that Nathaniel Hawthorne could be saying, because we've seen this in Emerson and in Thoreau and Whitman. This notion of yourself, it's all very individual. It's always in terms of man. Person makes it a true trend. Justice Thoreau called Emerson not the active Christian. Because, when he says, in one soul and your soul are resources of the world with revolution, to deny that same attitude toward African American slave is, if you're going to celebrate individualism of everybody, you want to extend that celebration to black doctors. Hawthorne here recognizes that the core values of transcendence, thinking for yourself, being an individual, becoming, remember when in the grade school, he says that, basically, every one of us has the potential to be like Christ. Christ showed Mary. Christ showed us what it's possible to do. But Emerson never really addresses the gender. And here, Hawthorne saying that, Hester's sitting here, meet little Hester. Oh, when she go over Adulta, she's able, she's a little sister of mercy. Back inside, she's saying, society, up. And we need to tear it down and start all over. The first thing we have to do is change the essential nature. That's a pretty radical statement. Especially for 1850. Yeah, it's great. Although Hoffman was buddies with Margaret Fuller. Margaret Fuller was a very active. She was actively said, wait a minute, to Emerson, Thoreau, and others. Hey, you're trying to celebrate why can't you see the issue? Finally, all the difficulty, women got to take advantage of women reforms until she herself shall recognize when her truest life, we found it about her. A woman never overcomes these problems except solved but only in one way. It's a hard chance to come uppermost. As Hester Prigg hard impossible. Water without a clue, dark cloud. So that's a staring back. There's a wild and cat. Times a fearful doubt strode desperate soul. Not better. Full of itself. To an empty turf. Maybe I should just kill Pearl. Pearl's. But
She's like 7 now.
She's just like she doesn't want her to be born into a world where like women don't have to think. Right?
but
She
ironically,
would have had to do it a lot earlier. Now
It's a little
Pearl's
late.
7. I don't know.
That's
What you doing, Mom?
That's your
What you got?
What's that knife?
There's like no.
What are you doing that knife?
Yeah.
I said
What's that?
You're like, whoa.
But the thing is, what does Pearl have that Hester doesn't?
Honestly.
Not just you.
She can see the truth of people.
She's born outside of society. She has the freedom of her own law. So perhaps Pearl, unbeknownst to Hester, is actually. But here we go. The point is, Scarlet Letter had nothing. The office, the purpose, as Jackson earlier, Scarlet Letter, to reform Hester. In fact, it's pushed her out of society far to the point where she has a perspective that gives them everything. And she's society. Basically, sucks. Which is really cool. One of the things and when you read this chapter, weren't you astonished?
Yeah.
I was having a hard time
'Cause, like,
understanding.
I understand that, like,
Yeah.
like there were probably a lot of women back then that were thinking like this, but to have like a guy sit there and write this book and be thinking about these things is kind of surprising.
It's really
Like,
surprising.
you don't see a lot of that.
The thing is, one thing about Victoria, is that they began to become quite recognized men equal. But they still clung to this idea, even though they're equal. They're different. Emma was equal to Tyler, but Tyler was differently endowed. Different story. Well, it's kind of, is it true? I mean, yeah, there are certainly biological
Anatomically, but
Yeah.
like, to the extent of what you can think about, it's not.
Well, yeah, our minds were.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't know if people
They are differently built, certainly anatomically, and certainly, but are they really differently endowed? Endowed with something, gifted with something? I don't know.
Well, but it's weird because they had like women grant like entire country all loved Elizabeth. The fact that they're like, oh yeah, women can't do jobs this men. Like, well, she just ran the whole country.
But remember
I feel like-
how Hawthorne describes Elizabeth?
They said
early on?
man-like.
Man-like.
But she's still a lady.
Yeah, I know.
So why is that?
They succeed only these
You can't just like brush it off like, oh, she's kind of like.
Sure, I think one of the, this is not a
Because she's
spoiler.
running the country, she's not a guy, and she is no longer
Her name is Roger.
I don't think that,
I feel like it's
Queen Roger Howard.
I don't think that this is a spoiler. One of the
I aspire to
disappointments,
be Queen Roger.
one of the disappointments of this novel is that I don't know that Hawthorne, thinking of whether or not Hawthorne really carries his verse with her. This is what I love about this novel. We'll see after this again. But I want to sometimes worry that the book sort of devolves this kind of is it? Wonder. But anyway, so 10 minutes left. So Hess in the position, so she goes to tell him. We get the same thing. Well, 147. Here we see a demonstration of how the world's law was no law in her mind. As Tyler said earlier, she's got her metric is her own. She. Remember, Whitman says, you shall not take things second or third hand, but listen to all sides and filter them for yourself. Figure it out for yourself. That's what Hester questions. Hester does on the bottom, Chillimer says, oh, why, mistress, I hear good things you do on all hands. No longer than yesterday eve, a magistrate, a wise and godly man, was reporting your affairs. Chester whispered to me their question concerning their counsel. We debated whether or no, with safety to the common weal, Yonder's scarlet letter might be taken off your bosom on my life, Hester. I put in a good word, and I made an entreaty, the worshipful magistrate might be done forthwith. What's Hester's response?
Like no, this is hard.
If it was worth it to take off, you would
Mankind.
already beat off.
Right.
Yeah, she's like, it's not in their best interest.
It's not just in their best interest. It's not their best. It's my
This is
affair.
my thing.
It's not in the pleasure of the magistrates to take off his badge. Up to me. Were I worthy to be quit of it, would fall away of its own nature, be transformed into something that should speak.
How weird trying to say. I feel like for everything that she's gone through, that's not the end. I feel like
Oh yeah, it was just
go away if I was a good person.
at this point nobody else cares though. Like, is there? They
It's
just
kind
not
of like,
like
it's kind of like lost its
yeah, it's
importance
lost.
almost.
Well, no, it's been transformed. He says it will be transformed into something that should speak different. We've already seen that in the chapter. It's
Yeah.
gone from A for adulteress to A to Abel, Sister of Mercy. But the point is, Hester's saying that, it's not up to Jack, the guys, to decide whether or not it's up to me. What I think I'm worthy. I mean, Hester still feels that she's sinned. The point is, she's thinking for herself. She's saying that it's her business, not mine. And she's kind of defying. Says, I love Hester.
Hester, she's
All the way. So on 148, so she recognizes all the while Hester had been looking steadily at the old man with shocked, as well as wonderment, discerned the change in his body. Wrought upon him. So he's changing too. Blackness, glare, red light coming out of his eyes. Down the fourth paragraph from the bottom on 148. In words, old Roger Chilliman was striking evidence of the man's faculty transformed himself together. It's become like a thing. He's going to say this, and he's, his quest for revenge is, what's that?
the word being like
It's
every other
speaking
word.
a lot. And the scarlet letter burned on Hester Prynne's bosom. Here was another rule and the responsibility which came probably home to her. She says,
I don't think so.
on 149.
I'm sure that's what I like. She's like, I don't care what you think. I'm just gonna tell you, like, right now, I'm gonna go tell Dimsdale that you're not a good person. Yeah.
Right, this is the strength that Hester has gathered from her punishment. She says on 149, when we last spake together, now 7 years, spoken 7. Now 7 years is your pleasure to extort a promise of secrecy. And she goes down and she says, you're torturing. I can tell you're torturing Dimsdale. You tread behind his every footstep. You're beside him, sleeping, waking, search his thoughts. You burrow and rankle into his heart. You clutch it, and your clutches on his life. You cause him to die daily of living death. Still, he knows you not. For submitting this as surely after it falls apart. the only man out but well, Troy's values at Chilling Woods. You know, if I point him out, Devin Gallows, they're going to say yes to us. But she says she's going to reveal. She says for Hester, oh, his spirit lacked the spirit lacked the strength to keep worn up his spine. Burden. What's he talking about?
I can tell it.
Talking about whatever's on his chest. Remember when he snuck in there and pushed aside his vest?
Why would you do that? That's so creepy.
That is really creepy. How do you think to do that? Like, let me just.
Like while you're sleeping?
Yeah, like, why
not
not?
on your chest?
He's sleeping. Let's just move his shirt.
She was grabbing his heart all the time.
Yeah, but even still, it doesn't make you like.
What's over there? If he's having like a heart attack every time he does that, he doesn't know that.
On page 150. So Chandler talks about how successful his torture has been. This is where he's talking to Isabel about what he's actually doing to subtle influence that's making Isabel suffer. But he says, Esther says, middle of the bottom page, toward the bottom page 150, has I not tortured him enough? Said Hester, noticing the old man's book. Has he not paid thee? No. He has to increase the debt.
I didn't get this. I didn't increase the debt by. He says like he increased the debt by
He's
just
sitting there torturing him, and suddenly he's saying that he increased the debt.
Yeah, how is it?
Because how? What do you think, Sam? What's Chillingworth doing? Chillingworth is for 7 years torturing Dimsdale.
He's wasting his life.
What's happening? What's that? What's happening? What's happening to Chillingworth?
He's getting all.
He's getting more ugly, more hunched up, and the very fact that
so he's going after it to such an extent that almost can't stop.
he's increased the debt. Remember when when Dimsdale says to Hester on the balcony, "What can your sons do but tempt him and they compel him into hypocrisy?" Well, that's actually what happens even though it's not Hester's intent. And the more hypocritical, the more Dimsdale's weird, the more he can say things in the pulpit like, "I'm another policeman," the more he suffers, the more guilt. So increasing the debt is 7 years of torturing, allowing 7 years of torture has made him so first he slept with my wife and got her pregnant. And then he put me in a situation where he's tempted me into the torture, pursuing this revenge for 7 years. And look what it's done to me, he says. And where am I? What's that?
How's that Dimsdale's fault, though?
Actually, it's like
Chillingworth his path. He told Hester, he was like, yeah, I'm going to get revenge on him. And like
he could have chosen to just be like,
But it's like, isn't he wanting
Or
to?
Dims, what's that?
Isn't he trying to like expose him ultimately like the public? But every time he tries to do something, every time Dimsdale says something, the whole public is like, oh yeah, he's better than things.
Well, it's not, but the increase in debt is, had Dimsdale 6 years ago, or 6.5 years ago, and Dimsdale said to Boston, "Hey, it was me," then what could Chillingworth no longer do? He no longer torture. So, in a sense, Dimsdale is responsible because by not confessing,
oh, I see. So
continued the
he's just
situation.
So Dimsdale's just putting it off, and so that makes Roger Chillingworth continue to torture him. And if he would just say it, then there would be nothing left.
why does Roger just go around and be like, yo, homie, Dimsdale sucks?
Because he'd rather torture. And there's that
But
law.
why? He's like killing himself because he's torturing him so much.
Can't stop it. Can't stop it. Stop doing it. He says on page 151, "What am I now?" The man, he'd look into her face and the whole evil within him. I already told you what I am. A fiend. Who made me so? It was myself. Right, Hester. She right? Was it her fault?
No,
Inadvertent.
Okay, well, sort of.
But she
sort of
says-
is partly her.
It's partly her fault, like for cheap.
But
that's like
then,
4 steps.
but she didn't do anything. Like she's not making Dimsdale not tell anybody. Like it's not her fault.
She is maintaining 2 secrets in parallel.
And then she decided not.
She says, "I got to reveal a secret." And then Chillingworth acknowledges about page 151, "Woman, I could well, I pity thee. Now has great elements. You're a good woman. Her adventure, perhaps, had thou met earlier with a better love than mine. Yeah. Remember when in the prison he says, I wronged thee. And the Chillingworth says, we wronged each other. Mine was the first wrong. And I wed thy budding beauty.
So she just like this.
That's right, she met somebody like Dimsdale. They could have been happy to raise Pearl and have a good time. And so anyway, it takes off.
Then like he says that.
Right. Real quick, because we're out of time. Once I do the end of the chapter, it says, forgive me, just go ahead and forgive. And she's saying to Chillingworth, look, just get over it, forgive him, there might be some good for thee, be alone. Peace, Esther, peace. Watch how men, Chillingworth and Dimsdale, respond. Josh comes, instead of being an equal person.
I'm like delayed in the mirror. It's really fun.
Anyway.
Did you like hear the noise and then you see it happen?
Anyway, so we're going to try and read just 2 chapters, right? No, 3 chapters for Monday. Where we read 17. We'll be back on Monday. I'll try and have a vocab quiz for you guys. For Monday the 17th. So it's just instead of 14, 15, 16, 17, we'll just read 15, 16, and 17. And I think we may hold off on the revision thing until 2. Yes. Right. Yes. What's that? Yeah, 15, 16, 17. 3 chapters of the weekend. Hopefully all have your papers back. Maybe Monday, or Tuesday. But I actually want to spend the day. Revise draft we do probably. I get back to Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Set. Okay. And you'll turn those in, and boom, we'll start on our. We'll be done with it. We'll start on our. Start later. I might be interested.
You
very different.
say that they're going to be fun, but and then you're going to put them.
No, what I've done is I've actually pulled out a bunch. Let me look at this. Talk about this. What I try to do, I've got like the most common things that kind of weaken our writing. And so what I've done is try to pull examples from your papers of sentences that do it really well and sentences that don't do we're not looking at
So you're
whole.
not going to be like,
No, there are anonymous sentences.
this is Hadley's essay. She did awful.
No, Hadley sucks. No, we're not doing that. Say good luck to the girls. Of course, you'll watch this afterwards. Hope your guys' race and volleyball games were good. Stop.